Oh, we want to introduce our new...
Yeah, I got to introduce. We have a guest, a very special guest today.
Ooh. He's not listening. Is he deaf?
He's deaf. He's deaf. He's deaf and practically blind.
Come here, Oliver.
Good luck.
Who are you, lady?
Yeah. Hey, come here.
Got long nails.
So I've been a dog guy my whole life.
Yep.
I moved out of the house because of my first dog that I ever got.
Capone?
Capone.
That's why you left? Yeah, I didn't realize that's why you left.
It wasn't. That was just no. It was the many things. It was getting kicked out of school. It was
right.
Come here. It's okay. Chill. All right, here we go.
Oh,
get on the mic. Let's talk. You have something to say?
He is a medium-sized gray.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that.
What is he? Like poodle?
So Oliver is a little shelter dog that I picked up. He's 15 years old. Yeah, he's some kind of poodle terrier mutt. I call him a terrier surprise. Actually, we're kind of matching right now. I just realized we're in the gray and black.
You know what they say that pets always look like they're humans, and I definitely see it.
You see it, right?
I see it.
Yeah. Well, welcome, Oliver.
Yeah, he's gonna join us here
to the pod
for a day.
Today's episode is what?
The episode is
Easy Way.
Oh,
Easy Way. This
right.
is a charity one where Lewis is in the bed. He picks the easy way to do charity.
Oh, and
help
people?
Sleeping
on the job,
by
basically.
Sleeping on the job,
right. So
basically.
there's a charity event at the Lawrence Junior High that I think Ren is obviously running or something, and she's just everyone's running and jogging, and my brother's choosing the easy way, being lazy and sleeping on a bed, and then she gets really frustrated because this Cynthia, whatever her name is.
Mills, yeah.
Cynthia Mills, who is actually Gary Marsh's wife.
The newscaster.
I didn't know that.
That's right, yeah.
Really? Oh, yeah, Jody.
Oh.
Jody Marsh.
I mean, she kind of slept her way into the job.
She married her way into the job. They've been married for a while.
This industry, I gotta tell you.
She did a great job, and she pops in there. Cool. She was very cool.
Yeah.
And, it was kind of fun, that scene where everyone's kind of congregating in front of this, mattress store window where he's, sleeping for hours and hours. And I really felt like Shia really had fun with this storyline.
Oh, yeah. No, it was a fun episode. One of the things that I recall most about that was we shot that window, the mattress scene in Westwood.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was right next to UCLA.
Oh.
And I don't think I was at actually maybe I was. No, I wasn't at UCLA yet. But I eventually went to UCLA. But it was, it was nice.
It's a nice little area.
Yeah,
Westwood's so pretty.
Yeah, it was cool.
Did they have the Tempur-Pedic beds back then? Because I remember nowadays they got all these sleep numbers and stuff like that.
I think they might have had the ones that moved up and down. And I think this one, was it flat, the bed, or what? I don't know. But anytime you can actually sleep in a scene for a long period of time, I'm all about it. There was times where we'd have to be in bed. Like the musical episode, which I am wearing a shirt homage to right now.
We went to the moon in 1969.
Yep, it says we went to the moon in 1969. It's actually a very limited edition because now I don't sell them. But I used to sell these.
You missed your chance.
And if we do merch, which I'd love to do merch, I want us each to have our own little saying. Maybe spill the beans.
Spill the beans?
Maybe Donnie's dead.
Yeah, spill the beans is definitely a good one. I'm not sure about Donnie is dead. But,
oh, God.
I'm not actually. You know what? Donnie is dead, and I'm not sure if I'm ever bringing him back.
No,
so,
yeah,
it's okay.
Nick is alive. Donnie's dead on one side. Nick Spino's alive. I like that. So Easy Way was fun. It's kind of a very straightforward piece, but the most interesting part about this episode, I think, is the introduction of Zack, who is Brandon Baker, who is an actor who I did actually get to catch up with on my cooking show, my YouTube cooking show. And he was Johnny Tsunami, a huge Disney Channel star. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you know that. He played this Hawaiian, basically bra, kind of character. And then he comes to the big city and surfs for the girl. And honestly though.
Was this a show?
Actually, wait, was Johnny Tsunami
it was a
where he was actually in the snow? I think he might have been in the snow.
I think they did two of them, actually.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I remember they did two of them, where one was he was a surfer and one where he was a snowboarder, if I remember right.
Well, and Brandon had actually had a big career with Disney. He was in Jungle Book.
Really?
He was in the first, a live action version of Jungle Book.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And he was very young when he had done it. So... Wow. It was very cool, he was a very chill guy. He still is. Ended up moving to Colorado and marries people. He's kind of like a tour guide and marries people too.
Interesting.
He's got this really cool life.
And
You'd actually really love him.
Not an officiate. What is it?
Officiant.
An officiant. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah, he's an officiant.
You know,
Like,
I have a couple people that do that. I gotta say, if there's any job, you need to chill out. If there's any job that's super stressful, it's like being the person who is conducting the ceremony for someone's wedding. If you fuck that up, it does not look good.
You know, I actually got my license online to do that.
What?
It's super easy. It's like $50.
I'm sorry, you're an officiant?
Wow.
Yeah, I'm Father Beans. I'm dead ass. I will show you all the certificates.
That's really
Bro,
cool.
you have taken this
Yeah.
to the extreme.
Yeah.
I love that.
So I'm Father Beans, actually.
Was there a reason why you wanted to do that, just as like a money-making thing?
I think I had a couple drinks and I was on the internet.
That is
and
so
I was like,
funny.
you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to be Father Beans. You know what? Yeah.
So so you did the officiant, and then you put your name through as Father Beans.
It's Father Beans.
Wow,
I
that's
could
dope.
I could definitely
Bless me.
see somebody wanting you to conduct their ceremony.
Have you put that out there, like on your Cameo page? Which, by the way, everyone should know. We
Yeah.
are all on Cameo.
We're all on Cameo. Go
not
check us out.
together, but
That is
independently.
That would be
Yeah.
awesome. yeah.
And
I have the basement bargain price of like $25 a cameo.
Heck yeah.
So-
nice. And you're on there too.
Yeah, I'm on there too. You can
And
look
you
me
do
up.
them often.
I do them pretty often.
You
Yeah.
pulled us into some of them.
I pulled
recently.
you guys into a
every
couple.
time
Be
I
sure
see
to check it
you,
out.
I end up working for this guy.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, we're gonna get some
Yeah,
publicity
hey,
in
hey,
here.
Nick, jump in here,
Yeah,
jump in
here,
here.
baby. Come on, make
Oh,
Papa some money.
man,
Let's do
it's
it.
so funny. Where's my commission off these little deals that I'm doing? A cameo on your cameo.
Oh well, you know what? Hey, you were the pimp. Maybe you could pimp me out on Figueroa here.
Oh
You
my
were a
God,
pimp?
I don't know
Yeah,
what he's
remember
talking about.
from the Heidi Fleiss story we were talking about
Oh,
earlier.
yeah,
my God, I
no.
totally
No.
forgot.
Maybe that could be the reboot. Like Donnie becomes a pimp and he starts pimping
Not your
beans
best,
out.
Not your
No,
best.
no,
no.
But
Okay,
easy
I'll
way.
think of it.
Yeah,
Easy way.
easy
Yeah.
way.
Easy way.
Brandon Baker is introduced, and he becomes this kind of antagonist to Shia
Mhm.
because Lewis. And the reason is because he has these. He doesn't really realize it, but he actually has feelings for Tawny. So he's like stuck behind the like glass, and like she ends up going on a date with him, and then there's this really funny montage of them like washing a car together, and they had some really funny like sappy original music, like a lot of our music that felt like sort of an homage to something, because let's face it, we didn't have the money to get like real music on the show. We had John Coda make.
Well, that's an insult to John Coda.
No. It's
He
just
made real
he made
music.
but he made versions of songs that were like he ripped off songs because we couldn't do
Well,
the real
the bottom
songs.
line is licensing is expensive.
Well, I mean,
So,
hey,
yeah,
that's pretty
crazy.
much music nowadays. Ripping
Yeah.
off old music, It's sampling. I think the kids call it nowadays, right?
Mhm.
You
Yeah, and so I mean,
Kids.
they
These
did a
kids.
really good job though. I think John Coda always did a good job of trying to make the music sound as good as it could, with also honoring the satirical like tone of our show. So there's this funny little cutaway that just kind of reminded me of that with the music and stuff. So Brandon Baker, love him to death. He's out there in Colorado somewhere marrying some folks.
What came first,
Wow,
though, Johnny
that's amazing.
Tsunami or him on our show?
Johnny Tsunami.
Johnny Tsunami. Oh, so this was like
Yeah.
a big thing getting him on the show.
It was.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah, it was. And I think like I experienced this with Kim Possible, where when you start to get like high-end celebrity guests, your show is tracking well.
Mhm.
Because it's like, oh wow, okay, people want to be on this show. They're interested in coming on, and we have, the ability to do that. So I think that was one of those first times where I was like, oh, cool. I'm surprised that we didn't try to bring him back. I wonder why that. I never asked him why.
Yeah, he would have been great.
Yeah.
It's like almost a second rival for because
Yeah, because he never really had a rival.
Yeah, Ty. Yeah, you had
consistent.
Ty.
Right.
Why couldn't Lewis have Johnny Tsunami? That would have been a great
Yeah.
little tie in there.
Well, I mean, it sounds like they were doing a lot of work with him anyway. So,
Oh, maybe he was just
They
too
did-
busy.
Could've been.
well,
Too busy for
you're,
our
you're not
show.
going to tie someone up on a show as like as a B storyline
Mhm.
like me when you're going to like create your own show for them. But are you guys hearing my dog breathing?
I don't know. I think our producers say no. I think you
feel-
were more
I feel-
distracted by your dog
I
than
feel
we are.
like-
That was your choice.
I just want everyone to know that I've been very unprofessional this morning by bringing this animal who
He's sleeping now.
We did some
you know, he's
push-ups
chill.
too.
Yeah,
He's got a little
he's
empty
chilled out.
water bottle.
It just took a while. If you bring a dog into any new space, they just have to sniff everything.
It's the great equalizer.
It's true.
They just gotta smell it all. Once they sniff it out, then they chill out.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I can relate.
You have to sniff it all out.
Sniff it all
So
out, and then I relax.
you've had pets too. So you're a dog person. I'm a dog person.
Yeah.
And you had a French bulldog too?
I had a French bulldog when I was in my later life when around Dad and I had a Boston Terrier when I was a kid. Mom had a Cocker Spaniel. We've always had random cats that have just ended up at the house that we started taking care of.
Yeah.
I think that's how most people get cats. They just show up.
Yeah.
And then we start taking care of them.
I had 6 cats growing up in Connecticut, and they were because we had woodlands behind our house, and then since they've made it a neighborhood, but we used to get a lot of strays, and my mom was from Ohio and kind of a farm girl, so she just kind of let us all have like tons of animals and stuff like that.
I gotta
them and they
Fucking
don't
4
leave.
dogs and 6 cats. I don't know how I grew up
Wow.
thinking that was normal and exciting, but I guess when you think about kids who love animals, like
I got a funny story that'll actually tie us kind of back the easy way here.
Good.
I actually did a little bit of charity work, fundraising for ASPCA, Humane Society, but I was paid for it. Just full disclosure, I got paid for it. But the funny story when you're doing it for 40 hours a week, 5 days a week, making 8 hours a day worth of phone calls, it can be a little taxing, right? So, you do some things to reinvent it, kind of keep yourself entertained. So, you start out, hello, we're calling for your money. Little doodle mix is gonna needs to be fixed. And then throughout the day, it starts wearing on you, and eventually, I'm literally calling people. Hi, I was just down with this oil spill, and I saved this seal, and he needs your money.
wow.
And then he just started making seal noises.
Wait, seriously?
Seriously, I would do that. Yeah.
Wow, so you would just
That's
like
what
go
I said.
on,
Like,
go ham.
was this like shtick that you were like trying to do comedy, or were
Did
you
they know
trying to
you were
like
doing that?
Oh, I think so.
ASPCA?
Honestly, some people laughed and gave me money for it too.
Oh,
Yeah, it was hysterical.
Good.
Yeah.
See, he's a dangerous guy.
Wow,
you would-
I'm not sure if I would take that. I would think like this is a scam. Like this person's not really trying to get my money to save seals. This person's just,
Oh man, well it's
a prank.
You
It has to be a
got
prank.
to entertain yourself somehow.
Yeah, ASPCA is a wonderful. I actually did end up having a French bulldog named Chewy, and I had a clothing line with Chewy, and it was really kind of weird. This was a little bit after Even Stevens, and Club Libby Lou was like this little girls' boutique place in the mall, and you would go there with your little girls, kind of like what I just did at Disneyland with my girls, where they dress them up like princesses, and then they like paint their nails and stuff. It's very, very cute. But I had a clothing line, but it was a dog clothing line. Okay. And so my dog would come with me to all these different cities to like promote the clothing line. It was really sad for the dog. Yeah, I was like recreating the trauma of pushing children into acting. I was like a stage mom. I was just like,
you learned your lesson at that point, like never to do
and
that.
that dog died, man. That dog
How
died like
old?
soon after, like 2.5.
Oh, that's terrible.
So she was like a puppy not a puppy, but she was about 1 year old when we started this.
Yeah, you worked that dog to death.
Oh shit! You think? No way! No.
I mean,
way.
my dog. This one's 15. Sammy was 20 when she passed. So your died at 2.5. You worked that animal to death.
I had a lot of little dogs along the way, and my other dog after this dog, because I actually I'll tell you what happened. My mom killed the dog.
Oh God.
And you wanted to hear the story?
Yeah, how did my
Okay,
I guess.
so French bulldogs are, when they're whelped or born into the world, they mostly they don't make it. Like most of them, only 1 or 2 of them.
They
make
have a
it.
lot of breathing issues, right?
That's what it was.
They can't
So-
actually naturally,
They're not meant to be on this
well,
earth.
no, they're not. They can't naturally procreate.
It's the inbreeding.
wow.
There's a lot of problems that come from the inbreeding, I think.
Oh wow! Oh gosh!
Let me tell you, I come from Fresno.
It's the same
I
thing with
know.
Rottweilers. Rottweilers get a lot of like bone cancer and
yeah.
other kind of like issues like that, just because of the, when you inbreed, that you're kind of passing down those
vulnerabilities or
Yeah,
something, like
exactly,
the kinks in the.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, okay. I loved Chewy. Chewy was wonderful, and a lot of people who were fans of mine remember that there was this stage in my career that I had this like whole like dog clothing line at this particular girl's store, right? Anyway, So Chewy and I couldn't really be together anymore because I was a hot mess. Like I was traveling to New York and all these different places and just kind of bumming around. And then finally I said, Mom, Chewy won't go to the bathroom properly, which it was true. I didn't lie. I was like, she won't go to the bathroom on grass. And I was living at a really nice place at the time, like at the Palms or the whatever that place is, the Palazzo.
Palazzo, yeah.
Yeah. And so she wouldn't go. And so I had to give her to my mom in Connecticut in hopes that she would learn how to start to just being more of a normal dog, not as much like a prissy city dog. So my mom had her in the summertime, but my mom babied her like to the point where she brought her everywhere she went. But in August in Connecticut, it gets very hot. And she had gone into Kinko's, and I guess she left my dog in the car.
Holy shit.
And so my dog had a heart monitor on her the week prior because she had some issues, it seemed. Now, I don't know whether or not the air conditioning was on or not because I was very, very far away from this experience. And I get a call from my mom, who, by the way, I hadn't spoken to in like a year.
Oh, wow.
The first time that I trusted my mom after we kind of split after Even Stevens and all that, like we didn't talk. It was like a really rough transition at one point. And then I give her my dog, who's like giving my child to someone.
Bad
like, at
decision.
The time. Yeah. It truly was. But I knew she loved the dog, and I obviously knew that it wasn't her fault, like per se, but it kind of was.
Well, I mean, if you leave a dog in a hot car.
See, that's the thing is I will never know whether or not, and even at the time I was just like, I'm so mad at you that like I just can't process this. So, yeah, so basically she called me and she was like, the dog is dead. Chewy's dead. And I was just like, oh my God, what is happening?
Make sure you're sitting down first. None of that. Just
I think I was just like, I was so out of my body at that time that like, I just wasn't fit to be a dog owner. But I did get another dog a little bit later, and I had that dog for 16 years.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you chose to take care of that one.
And I did not give it away.
If you ever need to give away a dog, just call me and I'll help. But it's funny because there's this thing that happens, especially in like places like LA, where and this is no offense to young women. It could be a young man too.
No, but I'm actually a poster child for what you're about to say.
It's most often young women that come to LA and they get a dog like an accessory to their purse.
100%.
And they got these cute little dogs, but they're not really capable of taking care of that animal yet because they're still kind of like adjusting to this crazy lifestyle, and they want to go out every night, and it's just a cute little thing they want to have, and they're not treating the dog well. And one person, who I won't say their name, but their last name's Good. The first name sounds like Megan.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah, she hung around Even Stevens a lot. Wasn't she in it?
I love Megan.
She is obviously killing it.
Megan was dope. Megan was dope. Love Megan.
She had so many cut-off tank tops, I remember, because she hung around Ty a lot. And she dated Shia.
She looked fantastic.
She was a hottie from day one.
Super hot. But I went to her house once, and she had this little dog that literally was just on the balcony. You're in an apartment. There's no yard. There's no nothing. So the only space this dog had was the balcony.
Yeah.
And like we're there, and the dog is like on this closed balcony, and we're about to go out. And I'm thinking like, how long do you keep your dog out there for? Like, do you ever take this thing out? Like he's barking, and like you can tell, just like it was not good. And that stuff drives me absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
You should not get a dog if you come to LA and are trying to be an actor.
Dude,
or
let me
whatever
tell you how many
it
other
is.
dogs I had and gave
it.
away, dude. I had a husky named Frankie. I had a rat terrier named Grace. I had, when I was in New York in college, I had a pit that we saw in Harlem called Roxy. I had a dog for 2 days named Bronson, who was like a Capone kind of dog. It was like a rot, mostly rot. And that one just didn't gel. That was the first time that I actually really would have wanted to keep the second dog, but it didn't gel with my little dog who I'd had for all that time. So I have given up dogs and made sure that wherever I put them, they were in a better situation. So at least I took accountability in that way, but
why did you keep getting them though?
That's the question, isn't it?
it
I never actually questioned why I was getting them. I think like I wanted to believe that I could be that person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, it's very you do really have to be very careful.
It's a huge responsibility.
It's a child. It's a living
exactly. Like
child.
I don't have kids.
It's not the same, but it
dogs,
is.
No, for sure. But it is a responsibility. And like in my earlier days, the one thing that kind of kept me from I think going too cray was like knowing that if I ever went out, if I met somebody, I had to come home. I had a dog. I had to come home, especially like when I had Capone. I was living on a boat.
Yeah.
That guy was locked in.
And he's huge.
He was huge. He was 130 pounds. And I was like living on this sailboat, but I had to come home. I always had to come home. I always had to take my dogs out. I always had to feed them. And so thank God, because it gave me some responsibility, and I think that's the great thing about a pet is if you're down for it, it'll teach you how to be responsible. If you're not, you're
it's not going to work out.
Congratulations, you're a felon now.
Yeah, exactly. You're just animal abuse.
Well, the other thing I don't think people realize is how expensive it is to actually own a pet, especially healthcare. Only in California, the pets have better healthcare than humans do in California. It's insane.
It is expensive. I have a Bengal cat now, which is something that we decided to get after kids because we were like, well, the cat will be less high maintenance.
Independent.
Well, let me tell you what, this cat was expensive from Santa, of course, because Santa doesn't, believe in money, right? So cat was thousands of dollars. And then we get the cat, and the cat starts chewing through the baby foam. Like you line like the floors with like these baby foam tiles.
Oh, no.
He thinks it's chicken, or I don't know what the hell he thinks. And he starts eating it, and he gets these like masses in his stomach. And we're like, what can we do?
Wow.
So then we've literally had to really change our lifestyle.
For the cat.
Yeah. And he was supposed to be low maintenance. So then he gets like urinary tract infections because he's sad if we leave. So he's very emotional.
Wow.
Yeah, he's almost, and we got him because the breed of a Bengal cat, it's obviously a gorgeous cat. It's an exotic water cat. They love water. They're playful. And, it's okay.
And
we
is this
love the cat,
any of this covered by insurance? Or?
So it could be. We need to invest in some, is my
first
point.
of all, just because you have a pet doesn't mean you have pet insurance.
No.
It's an option out there. But I
think it depends on the pet.
It definitely depends on the pet. It depends on your lifestyle. I don't have pet insurance. I've never had pet insurance. It's just when the time comes and there's something serious, you got to pay for it. But I've never actually had.
This is a recurring thing with him, though, too. So I always wonder sometimes he'll pass the things that he eats sometimes. But anyway, I don't know. I like that we got onto pets because I love humanizing us because a lot of people know us and think of us in particular ways. And we're kind of demystifying that. And so these are maybe things that people didn't know about us. I didn't know you had a dog.
Yeah.
Would you want a pet now?
No, again, I like and it's
you are solitary.
Pretty much the same reason I don't want kids. I like being able to sleep in, and I like my space. And
what's a day in the life for you when you're not working? Because you work like what?
Yeah.
Do you work like 7 days a week?
Yeah.
Oh, so
pretty
you're
much
just
Sunday.
grinding.
Yeah. Well, Sunday, I get up. Maybe we have a couple beers, watch football, and make some dinner, and go to bed.
Okay, so you just take it easy on Sunday.
Yeah, pretty much Sunday.
You like football, huh?
Yeah, I'm a football guy.
Yeah, he actually had a podcast, but it wasn't a sports podcast.
No, it was a political one. Yeah, we actually did an episode, but
I think so.
We made the decision it never should show the light of day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah,
I thought it would have aired.
It went too crazy, and
it did.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah, you
political conversation with you went
yeah,
too
we were
crazy?
like, yeah, Christy's,
no, but with me.
Christy's such a sweetheart. We can't have her on our nonsense. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
That was
I remember the podcast being
Christy,
fine.
just count your blessings.
Yeah, just count your blessings, Christy.
Okay,
Yeah.
I will. I'll just take it at that.
It was like, yeah, we didn't want to pull her down with our nonsense.
I was never invited,
Thanks, guys.
but it just saved me the hassle of kindly denying you.
I think it's super fun. I think it's super fun to find out different aspects of each other's lives, including all of the poor dogs that I've had to give away.
Yeah, well, I just think that there's so much opinion, like, I don't know, there's so much information out there, and there's so many opinions out there that we don't need to talk about everything.
Mm-hmm.
Not everything needs to have so much conversation about it, when all we're really doing is spouting out our own opinions and ideas, but not taking any action to do anything. So I kind of like the idea of less talk and more action in some of these things, especially when it comes to politics. If you don't like how the world is being run,
Then vote.
then get your ass involved.
Yeah, well,
voting's important, but voting is just one aspect of it. Like, we have a whole generation of people who are completely unengaged in politics, and you don't like our system, fine. But I guarantee you there's not many out there that are much better right now.
I agree with you.
And so the reason why it doesn't work isn't just because of bad leadership. It's because we're unengaged.
I agree.
We're not actively involved in the system. And so, like, the attitude of like, well, fuck the system, it doesn't work. Well, that's not going to help fix anything.
Right. Each of us matters.
Yeah,
still.
and your system, I promise you, if you run your game, it's probably not going to work either once you realize that there's hundreds of millions of people that you have to get to go along with you on that program, right?
Sure.
I think it's like politics are just so extreme nowadays. And that goes for people watching too, because some people are so politically active where they sit and watch Fox News or CNN 24/7, and it drives them batshit crazy. And then there's also the people that just put up the wall, become the ostrich, and bury their head in the sand. Right?
When did you get into politics? I actually was, to be honest, I was really surprised that you were, as like well-spoken, well-read, well-versed in like so many different aspects of culture. Like, I was so impressed with you when we reconnected.
Oh God, probably around the first time Obama got elected, I think.
Okay. So you just kind of started to lean into that.
I definitely, started to lean into,
Where do
politics.
you get your news from?
Oh, independent media, a lot of independent sources.
Can I ask a question about, see, I said not to talk about politics, and here we go. When we should be talking about the easy way.
Well,
easy way.
But no, I just want to, like...
Politics ain't easy.
But one thing, though, is that no matter what your media source is, it's backed by something or somebody, right? So just because a news outlet or news source is considered independent doesn't make it any less susceptible to propaganda or you know what I mean?
That's true.
It's backed by someone and something. And not only that, just like the conversations we've had before about, things you're hearing online or getting from, whatever.
Oh man, are you still, you're going to razz him about the Walt Disney dollar?
Well, no, the what?
The Walt Disney dollar that he said a couple days ago.
Well, that's pretty funny too, though, right?
We're going to own everything.
Well, no, or the people who are don't agree with or calling him out for a performance he did or whatever it is.
Lord.
You can't give so much weight to these things as if they're all fact
or
true.
This is 2023, Nick, and we got to respect people's opinions. And
I don't have to read every comment and respect everyone's opinions, bro. That's not how it works.
Yeah, I like everyone has
a platform to spit their ideas out there, but I don't have to listen to every person's ideas or opinions in that way.
Yeah, we got to respect.
There's kind of, it's kind of like, you have to filter through the BS, and the things that really matter kind of find their way to the top.
Well, I'm not going to call someone's opinion bullshit, but at the same time,
well, I didn't call someone's opinion bullshit
or BS.
But if someone calls you out for a role you did and says you're responsible for someone who committed a crime against them, I'm sorry, that's just not something that you need to carry the weight of.
Well, my grandparents thought rap music, definitely attributed to violence and stuff like that too. So it's not new for our generation.
So you guys are both, but it's interesting because it is such a spectrum these days of people being centered. More people are centered than we realize, but even in that centered thought, there's like folks like you and then folks like Nick. So it's like we are there's a wide range of political beliefs in this country, that's for sure.
Especially when they're becoming more mainstream. I mean, God, think about like Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert. I mean, they're elected to Congress. They're definitely people of power, right?
Yeah, they were voted in.
Yeah, they were voted in. These people vote, So it's, I don't know. Maybe we're in the minority here. I don't know. I don't know anymore.
Oh, I'm tired of talking about politics.
So the easy way.
I'm tired in bed.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so fun to make these like fun segues.
Yeah,
don't you think?
That's a good segue.
Whatever happened with that show?
Even Stevens?
No, the easy way. What happened to that episode? No, you cannot go back and watch this.
Oh, I'm telling Principal Wexler, you're cheating.
Wait, this is not the way to do this show. Christy is pulling out her phone.
I'm pulling up my Disney Plus, which has my Kim Possible avatar, which makes me so proud. They didn't have a Ren Stevens avatar, unfortunately.
So, Steven, did you watch the whole thing?
I did, yeah.
I watched it too. I'm just saying I don't remember the Very, very end. I just remembered that Brandon Baker.
So it's pretty much a good.
You should do it.
One thing that I really liked about this episode, it really summed up a good moral of the story, that even though the easy way may not necessarily be the right way, right? So even though he could have taken the option to go wash cars, it was a car wash. Go wash cars with everybody instead of sitting in bed for 8 hours, and in the end, he winds up regretting it because he could have been playing video games with y'all and yucking it up.
Yucking it up is what he missed out on.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to see the seeds of this little relationship that they want to have. So yeah, they end up having this like I don't know. I remember towards the end of like the next episode, I start talking about Bobby Deaver.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was surprised.
Bobby Deaver was one of your boyfriends on the show, right?
I think he was like, yeah, that's true.
Who was he played
more
by?
than one.
What was his name?
Brandon Davis.
Brandon Davis.
That's right. I actually like that guy. I think we connected a couple of times.
He was like a little bit of a club guy after the fact. You know that, right?
I mean,
I bumped into him the last time I bumped into Bobby Deaver was at a club in Hollywood, and he was partying. That's for sure.
Oh.
But
you mean a young actor in Hollywood went out and partied?
Yeah,
what?
He was the club promoter of it, and so I remember him being like, "Oh, hey, you're here, welcome." Like I'm like part of the club.
Yeah.
And
did he ever get you into any places?
I didn't. No, I want to say I was fairly young. I didn't get into like the club scene heavy with like Hyde and stuff like that, like higher end clubs, until I was in my, I want to say like mid-20s. Yeah.
Well, it's funny because I don't even recall. I mean, obviously we were years apart.
I saw you out several times after.
Did we?
Yeah. Well, we wouldn't bump it. Well, I'm trying to think of one time we bumped into each other. And another time, yeah, we would go. I saw you out. Like, you would be like dropping in and out of my life in like the most random ways.
Yeah. I'm trying to recall if we ever connected like in the nightlife scene after post Even Stevens.
We did, for sure we did. It was mostly like bars though.
Yeah, I was never big into the nightlife, like into the club scene in LA.
You're
anyway.
so chill.
Yeah, it just wasn't my jam. It wasn't my vibe. But I did have some friends that had restaurants or bars, and so they kind of became my connection in the places I'd go to because they were familiar. And
of course, you're gonna
family.
go to see your friends.
Yeah,
I was just.
I would never. The idea of standing in line someplace and trying to get in was not going to happen.
I almost became like a bottle girl at one point. Like I was like so
No
yeah, dude,
way.
guys. At that one place, I'm not voyeur. That would have been crazy, but it was like it was right in the heart of Hollywood, Jardine.
Oh, Les Jardins.
Yes. Oh my God.
I've still never been there.
That's still around.
Well, I mean, it is, but wait, don't go. Les Jardins was hot, okay? And like, I was like going there anyway with a lot of like, I was hanging out with like the Paris Hilton crowd and like a lot of people like that for like a minute, for like a good year after a really bad breakup. And I was just like really just trying to find my way in Hollywood, and I didn't work a lot. So I was like, wow, this could be a fun way to network. And like, I don't fucking know. I was really in a whole nother
whatever
place.
excuse everyone gives themselves to go out and just drink with a bunch of...
Oh, man.
Yeah, right?
It was crazy, dude. Crazy time. I look back and I'm like, what the fuck was I thinking? Anyway, so I meet with the manager. He's like, are you sure you want to do this? And I was like, yeah, no, absolutely. I'll be your girl. Like, I'll be your bottle girl. I'm going to make good money doing that or whatever.
Oh, my God.
And I'm just like kicking myself in the butt. That would have been crazy.
Well, I mean, I will say, like, I know women from back when I was going out in my 20s that are still doing that because they make so much money. Now,
they could make good money, yeah.
Now, granted, it's gone through its ebbs and flows as well. But I mean, if you're working at, like, I forget the one spot that used to be Key Club, and it's not Key Club anymore. It's
One Oak.
One Oak, yeah, One Oak
from New York.
That's right, One Oak.
Yeah.
One Oak. I mean, they're making $1,200, $1,500, $2,000 a night.
Yeah, I think that's where my head was at the time.
They're only working a couple nights a week, and that's all they need. And it's like, it's crazy world.
It is.
But that was back when people were dropping like $30,000.
The club scene was so real back in those 2000s.
It was. I mean, shit, not real for me. I would never drop $30,000 on a
You're
table.
way
it's
too smart.
Well, no, it's all relative though too. Though, like if you're making a crazy amount of money in life, you're a little less concerned with how you spend your cash. But I come from like, an old
Humble
school family.
beginnings.
Yeah, I come from parents that keep their same car for 25 years. It's
Did you club?
No, I'm maybe a couple times, but I was never a clubber
So
ever.
Club 17 was like
I went maybe
your
twice
clubbiest
with
time.
like a friend once or twice, and that's it. I was mainly maybe a bar guy. I love sports bars. I'll go in, play some pool. I'm a pretty good pool player.
Are you really?
Yeah. I'll hustle some people in pool.
Dang.
I got to see this.
I know.
There is a pool table here.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, let's get a
don't
game
you
in.
recall? I
Yeah, I didn't
Our
know I
studio
remember.
has
Yeah.
amenities.
Okay, yeah, let's go.
I tried
We'll
to
get a game
use
in,
you
man.
as my pool stick. It
Okay.
didn't quite work out.
Although I don't.
Oh, that's right. You never said anything. You
Yeah.
need to tell us. You need to flex.
Well,
on
we
your
had a
life.
schedule to keep. We had to stay on
Mhm.
schedule here.
So basically, oh yeah, and then the guys, there was this like funny, ridiculous thing. Remember we
Little
talked
blooper
about
thing. Yeah.
how the bed closes.
How
on
was this?
him.
Was this like a stunt? Were those his real feet? How did
No,
we do
those were
this?
definitely not his real feet.
I think I remember the bed being sort of like a stunt bed where they closed it in half, and then they had someone's feet he was probably standing, and then somebody was probably like
A stunt
feet in the
bed.
air.
Yeah, there was something
Stunt
else going on
feet.
there.
A stunt bed?
That is so funny. But yeah, this was silly, this episode. And I think
Yeah.
that was actually in the green screen space of our most of this was actually done
Yeah, I
in
don't think
studio,
I was
not-
in this one very
not
much.
in Westwood.
So,
No, neither was I though,
yeah,
to be honest.
hence the reason why none of us watched it.
The
No, I
part
was kidding.
that's funny though to me is like everybody's sitting outside going, "Oh, that's my boy," and even you're like, "Yeah, no one can sit in a bed like him."
Yeah, that's for sure, man. Well, thank you guys for listening to our crazy podcast today where we talked about dog ownership.
Oh wait, hold on a second. There he is.
Oh, Donnie!
There he is. Oh, look at me show off those dance moves.
Yeah,
and a dog. Who
It says "You the man."
Wow, I literally don't remember any of this. Wow, that's incredible.
You were the button,
I was the button.
right? That's what they call
Nice.
the
I mean,
tail
and
end.
who knew that I would bring my dog on the day that we're watching an episode where there's a dog there?
I
and
mean-
with me makes perfect sense.
There's a perfect circle.
All right, guys. Well, that's another episode of Even More Stevens.
Yay!
We'll see you
Peace.
next week.
Thanks so much for watching this episode of the Even More Stevens podcast. For clips from our pod, go ahead and check out the Podco YouTube channel. And for exclusive weekly bonus content, join our Patreon. Links in the description.